Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Nut Show. I just realized my hair's a little bit too. We need to crazy it up a little bit. It's a crazy time. I just realized it's like flat in front of my head. That's so funny. Hey, welcome everybody to the Crypto Nut Show. Your host Superman in the house. That was a disheveled open to the show. And no, I was not cry fagging. I was not cry fagging. We got I was cry engaging. Yeah, was it cry engaging? We got Blair in the house there. Hi all, good to see you, Blair. Big shout out. And hope you are well. Hope you are well. Well, is everyone getting ready? Because I guess we're expecting some sort of MrProve launch. We've also got LibertySwap expansion, which is a major expansion. I cannot say it enough, and we're really happy to cover it. The team is crushing it out there, doing some amazing things. Yeah. It's going to be fun. Now, obviously, we've got PulseChain market in a bit of volatility, bit of indecision, doesn't know what to do with MrProve at the moment, and the website coming up. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well, and check up on all the latest updates from some of these teams. We're also obviously expecting CoinWell to be pretty close to launching coming up. I think it's got some private testing going at the moment, but we're expecting that to come up pretty soon as well. But these things always are a little bit later. So we're already 9th of November. Now they said early November from Triple Dad, I think it was. But looks like we're probably looking at mid-November now, arguably, obviously, because we're only a couple of days away from that. So that's kind of where we are as well. Also, Tetra. I'm not sure if we've got the Tetra website update yet, but that is also another big one that we are waiting for. New tech on PulseChain. Now, I don't see the website rendered yet, so apparently it's going to take a few days. So nothing to see there at the moment. We do have a little bit of an update though on X1 and Jack Levin, the vampire there. The reason why I say vampire is because I'm just front running all you guys out there. So that's kind of where we are. All right, let's have a look there. I think I actually posted it out on my X account, didn't I? But earlier, yeah. We're tracking that, right? It's kind of like Solana 2.0, and it's looking hot. He's doing a good job ramping it up. Now it always takes a bit longer than everybody else wants. Everyone wants it yesterday. But they are finally on a pretty aggressive ramp up. So we're going to talk about that towards the end of the show as well, because we're in crypto, right? And we like these things. All right, so Blair's in the house. Big shout out there. Don't forget to share the show around on X as well. Really helps a lot. And let us know, anything topical to you. Let us know in the comments as well. Now we're streaming on 3 YouTube channels and also on X. And if you haven't smashed the subscribe button or hit the follow button, go ahead and take your time. All right, so without further ado, let's get into where the crypto markets are at and have a snapshot here. So it is Sunday, the 9th of November here in New Zealand. Of course, we're miles ahead of everybody else, close to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And it is still Saturday, I think, afternoon, evening in the United States. So somewhere along there. But let's have a quick look to see whether it is. Los Angeles, apparently, it is 5 to 4 in the afternoon. I guess it's kind of wintry there, is it? Heading to winter, I guess. Not quite there yet. We've also got New York. It's pretty hot in Los Angeles, and it's probably take a while to get to the winter. But we've got New York currently at 7 o'clock in the evening, 5 to 7 in the evening. Yeah, 18 hours behind in New York. New Zealand, 21 hours behind New Zealand and Los Angeles. Isn't that crazy? London is 13 hours behind. London, it is 5 minutes to midnight. Can you believe it? Yesterday. So it's just about in 5 minutes, it will be today, at least from our point of view. So some crazy time differences there. So a big welcome from around the world. Let us know in the chat there if you where you're from. We've got people from all over the place, haven't we? So let us know. All right, so without further ado, let's get into the crypto markets and see how things are shaping as we go. Actually, let's go to the full screen on this one and have a look at where the market is. So 3.53 trillion, super cheap, small little tiny crypto market cap, 3.53 trillion is down 1%. So that's kind of where we are right now. So just a little bit of down sentiment there in the good old Saturday. We've got Eddie says, hey from Tucson, Arizona. A big shout there, Eddie. That's probably a really great place to live in the United States, isn't it? Tucson, Arizona. Sounds like a good place. I think I've seen it in the movies. So just remember, for us in New Zealand that haven't, don't travel too much to the United States or whatever, America is kind of like a fictional thing out of a movie. So that's a reference point for you. We got Bitcoin at the moment is at number one, up 102,000. So $102,296 is down 1.1%. We're going to look at the Bitcoin chart in a minute. Ethereum number two is at 3,400, down 1.1%. We got BNB at number XRP at number four, down 1.3% at $2.28. BNB at number five is at down 0.1%, so pretty flat. Is sitting at $989, so just below that 1,000 mark. Solana, it's at number six, and that's down 2.4%, $158. Number nine is Tron. It is down 0.4% at 29 cents, and Doge is at number 10. It is down 1.6% at 17.6 cents. So those are our top 10 guys at the moment. And what else are we going to say about that? Well, I guess the best performer is Tron, only down BNB, only down 0.1% there, closely followed by Tron. Best performer over the last week, well, it's got to be Tron, doesn't it? Yeah, only down 1.8%. So all red, so not a great when we're talking about performance. Looking at the top 100, we've got Internet Computer, up 8.9% today, 3.4% for Mantle. VeChain up 1.7%, Uniswap up 2.6%, and Figure there as well. I'm not sure why that's out of order there. But weird, it's not in order. I'm not sure why that's out of order, but anyway, those tend to be the top ones there. Looking at the top week, the weekly ones there, that does seem to be in order. And that has got Filecoin at the top there, almost a 82% run on Filecoin. Isn't that crazy? Zcash at the moment up 45%, number two. Near Protocol up 32%, number three. And so we've only got three protocols apparently over 10% for the week. Polkadot and Aster following just behind that at 9.6% up, 8.3%. So those are the top 100. Top 1,000, we've got Swarm Network, OG folks in the top 1,000. And that's what we're waiting to see, LibertySwap on its next run to head towards that top 1,000, right? So I think we got into around the 1,100 mark, somewhere in that ballpark. Trending at the moment, Zcash, Internet Computer, and Gala. So that's pretty much our wrap up. So 3.53 trillion market cap, super small market cap right now. And Bitcoin, let's talk more about that. Bitcoin at the moment, let's have a look at the chart. So we've got Bitcoin at 102,290 here on Coinbase. Now the 200-day moving average is, the 50-day moving average is at 100,887. So we're still above the 50-day moving average, guys. So that's positive. We're still above the, that's at 100,942. We're still above that. So that's really positive where we are right now. So everything's kind of still intact for the old Bitcoin rally into the end of the year. We still have a few little tinkering things out there. So the 19th of November, we've got NVIDIA results. That's we're looking forward to that to be very positive. Remember, the Magnificent is pulling up the stock market. And out of that is a big theme is the AI theme. It is ushering us into the fourth industrial revolution, what they call the age of intelligence. And NVIDIA is leading the way, right? It's got the most powerful AI chip, the Blackwell chip. And so, it's game on. We already saw, I think yesterday at the Tesla's shareholders meeting, we saw Tesla talking about there's not enough chips around for what they want to do. Obviously, they're looking to do Optimus 2, which is, I think, about 1 million in their production line. They're already manufacturing that on mass scale. So it's the first, as far as I know, the mass scale of a humanoid robot. And that is in play. So we are really ushering in this intelligence age. We've got a convergence of many technologies going on. We saw sodium batteries coming up from Kittel, so the battery side of things. Obviously, we've also got AI chips, AI software. We've got robotics. So it's all sort of converging. All those things are converging together for the intelligence age. It's going to be quite interesting. We really are entering that age of Terminator, but hopefully with a good story, right? But we know what humanity's like, right? We know what humanity's like and where that might go on the other side of things. So at the moment, that's kind of where we are. So it's a pretty big deal. And what's the other side of it? It's that a lot of income will be made, right? So that it's going to be profitable. It's going to be like the .com back in 2000. This is actually very popular because it's going to affect everything. AI is going to affect everything, every industry. And we already see that starting to happen quite in a widespread. And it's just going to keep, fanning like a flame in a dry wheat field. It's huge. So it's going to be kind of everywhere. And the challenge will be humans keeping their humanity, right? We've already seen that challenge with cell phones and things like that. So now it's that the challenge is still on for humans to keep the humanity. And we know there's a bunch of crazies out there that want to become robots. So, it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough. And we also know the progressives will love to be able to make humanoid robots a new species that with all their rights and privileges. I don't know. It's going to be nuts, guys. It's going to be nuts. So that's kind of where we're heading there on that. So, yeah, we're at 102,243. And so let's see where we go on the 19th with the video. And, of course, we've also got the interest rate cuts in the 10th of December there as well. So hoping for a quarter percentage point cut there. Those are some of the big things coming up. We also got, obviously, the Supreme Court is assessing Trump's tariffs and use of that under emergency rules. And so if they ruled against him, and that could potentially be terrible because they'll have to pay it all back, right? At the moment, it's almost they've raised the amount to be half of the federal deficit, which is fantastic. So obviously, we're in big favor of that. The alternative is terrible, and the alternative plays into the hands of the Democrats. And the Democrats' whole policies are all terrible, right? They're either really bad or they're just plain evil, right? So that's kind of what we're up to. We're really into an age of good versus evil at the moment. So that's kind of the play. So wish us luck on all those three things as we move forward with the Bitcoin and altcoin rally. Other than that, everything is looking super bullish because Trump has laid out the golden age of America, and we're in a boom like you've never seen before. It is exciting times. And of course, Trump also looking to make the United States safer as well and cleaning up all the crap that the Democrats have put in place to make it a little hell on earth. So you want to be on heaven on earth, then Trump's the man, right? It's the last man standing in the West to give us, a safe environment. So that's kind of where we are right now. Bitcoin at $102,281, and it's going to embody a lot of that those mega themes. All right, so big shout out there. We got Toxic in the house there. 4:55 p.m. back in my cage in Arizona. We got a lot of people from Arizona today. Eddie's in Arizona. It's great to see everyone in Arizona, even Hedgehog in there. We got Brian, of course. Big shout out to Brian. What's up, folks? Always good to see Brian in the house. I know he's been taking a bit of time off doing things. So great to see you, Brian, as always. And also Hedgehog as well. We've got another Hedgehog there. Was it 90280 or something like that? I can be a robot if it gets me out of my cage, is Toxic Hedgehog. Indeed. All right, so let's move on from there. That's kind of where we are. So it's actually pretty bullish, the Bitcoin's not, we've managed to defend 100,000 and we're at 102.3. So it's a good story. All right, so let's jump over into the PulseChain. We might change view though and go to our medium-sized program here. So we've got PulseChain ahead of MrProve, and we've had a little bit of volatility to the downside, of course. And we've also had validators come out, so pretty big validators come out with quite a bit of pulse. I think it's somewhere in the vicinity of 16 to 20 billion pulse, somewhere in that. So we just don't know what's it going to do with it. A lot of the ones have been coming out and actually, selling them out. Previously, they had been earning the pulse, and I think Crypto Solve's done some really good assessment on that. So if you want to go get some analysis on that, I think he did some posts yesterday or day before on those validators coming out. So I think also another one was PulseChain Stats has also done some nice numbers around the validator coming out, large validator. I think they were like number 15 or something like that. So yeah, there's things happening. Brian says, I had to fix his name. They added random numbers to it, I guess. And they must have, yeah. I thought you'd had like another account as well. We got Sean in the house there. Good morning, up only. I like it, Sean. Sean has got the tempo. He's got the tempo. And look, we're in crypto, guys. Things can turn around as fast as they went down. That's it. They went fast as it went down. Sean says, prove X. I'm in. Well, there's a couple out there right now at the moment. So we'll talk about that when it comes up. Brennan says, is it still MrProve or called Prove X now? Well, people I think just renamed it, Brennan. I think people just launched some tokens on Pump Tires and renamed them. But some of them are actually rug pulls, the little honeypots. Some of them are legit. You probably want to, if you are going to speculate on such things, you probably want to go with the ones that are officially announced through recognized community members, because that would give you the best chance. And I think one of the guys, I just can't remember who it was, GooGod or somebody, may have launched one himself. So once again, it's going to be extremely volatile, no doubt. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe if one dominates, it might do well. But there are a few ruggies out there, so be careful. All right, so day 911, Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0294, down 3% at 29% of the mean sacrifice price. Now, Pulse 6 at the moment, quadruple 0191, down 3.5% as well. The buy and burn has gone up. This is 8.04%. Incentive token at the moment, 1.08%, down 3.5%. And Hex at the moment at 66 hundredths of a penny, down 0.75%. And EHEX at 16 hundredths of a penny, that's gone down slightly from 17 yesterday. Combined price EHEX and PX is at 83 hundredths of a penny right now. Those are the majors. Obviously, the market there, more, I would say, a little concerned about potential sacrifice. I think the language is still a little bit unclear in the post, but presumably it's a sacrifice, and rather than an airdrop to previous sacrifices. And the argument would be, well, also, is it going to have Richard Hart cause? Because that would be a supply sink. But of course, then it wouldn't be that useful to Richard, apart from maybe providing liquidity or other things like that. The alternative being, of course, taking ETH or stable coins in. They would be particularly useful to Richard. And this comes back to another argument as well. Is the money better in a lot of individuals' hands, or is it better in one big whale buy, assuming that's what it's used for, right? So there's a lot of questions out there around all that sort of stuff. Obviously, we also saw Richard Hart talking in response to Corey Costa, about cry-fagging, in particular, talking about, well, remember what happened after the last sacrifice prices went up. Well, there has been some reports out by other people about, when did they actually go up and things like that. But obviously, everyone can always go back to Hex, I guess, as the ultimate story for that with the 13 parabolics. But Pulse X, Pulse, not so much. So there's a lot of angst in about that. There are a couple of people have put out surveys, and we'll see where people lie. Maybe we'll even check some of those up later on. So we still need a lot more information. We need the Prove It website to launch and to see what the terms are before that. So we'll see. At the early stages, I would suggest to you that the majority will be negative at the moment, but we'll have a look at some of the polls. And now, obviously, if you're on the positive camp, then you'll be participating in if it is an actual sacrifice. The other thing, of course, is there needs to be use cases for it. So the technology still needs to be used as good as it is. So it needs to be applied, and therefore the fixed supply would be burned off relative to that. The alternative, of course, a lot of people say, well, why sacrifice? Why not just wait till it dumps and then pick it up afterwards? And that's very true. That's a very realistic opportunity. We've seen that would have worked many, many times before. So people might just take that camp as well with a lot more experience behind them. So we'll see. The alternative, of course, is that a lot of money is used to pump up the token in terms of just like what happened to Hex. And so therefore that strategy may lose out. Maybe there'll be a few little opportunities in the short term, but maybe it wouldn't be too long before that'd be a big mistake. So that'd be pretty interesting as well for Prove It. Now, obviously, that would have to be paired up with arguably with PulseChain, one would have thought. So to lift PulseChain as well. So we'll see how all that plays out. We still need a lot more information. All right, so that's the sum of the discussion there. Let's jump over to where the gas prices are. Sean says, sack me now, Daddy, says Sean. So he's in the positive camp there. We got 433,000 beats, 5 cents, half a cent for a PulseX swap right now. So it's pretty cheap on PulseChain. Validators at the moment, 52,612. We've also got the bridge there is sitting at 91.6 million. So we're down about, about a million, 1.2 million from yesterday. Obviously, EHEX is down, so it's dragging it down as well. And that's where we are right now. But let's have a look at some of the numbers here, because I got a snapshot, as you guys know, back on the 25th. So what's that now? That's almost, let's say 15 days ago, 15 days. And we had 6,300 ETH. We've now got 6,453. So we're actually up now 150, let's just round it, 150 ETH we're up. So that's kind of cool. Obviously, the value of ETH was dramatically up then, and so we're down dramatically on the ETH value, about $2.9 million. But the ETH actual value volume is actually up, so that's pretty exciting. The other one, of course, is DAI. We had about 19.9 million DAI. We got 18.8, so we're down about just under 1.1, somewhere between 1 and 1.1 million on the DAI. So that's pretty significant. USDC, we had 15.4. We're now at 15.28. So we're down about 125,000 on USDC. And USD Tether from 15 days ago, we're at 51.84. We're now at 5476. So we're actually up about 200 and maybe 300,000 on USD Tether. That's been increasing, which has been interesting. So that's kind of the mixed bag there. Let's have a quick look at the bridge values itself. Now this is time stamped at UTC time, right? So it's every 24 hours at midnight UTC. So I don't know if it's pretty close to UTC now. It must be pretty close, right? So I'm not sure whether this will be updated soon. I'm not sure what time it is. Let me go quickly look. UTC time now. Let's have a look. So it's a 12:11 a.m. So that presumably means that this just got timestamped. So this might be, I did this before. So let's do a refresh. We've got negative 153. Let's see if this is actually updated in real time. That'd be pretty cool. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. No, it still looks like a timestamp, but I'm pretty sure I did this before midday. So midnight UTC. So I kind of this is midnight UTC right now, but it doesn't seem to have updated. And I'm pretty sure I took the snapshot. Sorry, before that. So yeah, interesting there. Let me have one more refresh. Maybe it takes half an hour to update. I don't know. Yeah, so this is anyway. Whatever timestamp this is, it's down 153k. But maybe we'll come back to that later on. That's where we are. So we had 930k in, 100 million. 1 million out. And we did the validator this come out, right? So I'm not sure whether they've actually sent some stuff out. They may have sold the chart down a little bit there. I don't know. But yeah, what do we got? The wrapped ETH. So number one in was wrapped ETH, 90 wrapped ETH. So it's explains some of that ETH that we got. DAI has been going out, 500,000 DAI. Look at that. So that's been going out there. So yeah. Key one there. We did have 223,000 DAI come in. So some interesting numbers there from the PulseChain stats. That brings us into, I guess, the PulseChain chart. So let's talk about that. RH says RH will probably use the SAC Tornado cash funds to put into the new SAC. That's the other side of it. Yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier. Is that a lot of people talking about that that we could see the SAC funds going into there to pump that up into a big number. So that great marketing, right? Either way, it's still his money at the end of the day, won't it, Brennan? But yeah, to make it look more successful, sure. Which a bit opens the question up, Brennan, about the Bitcoin. Of course, that was part of the hex at the beginning, right? So all that Bitcoin that went in there. I just can't remember the number. I used to know it in my head, but was it 250,000 hex? 250,000 Bitcoin? Was it about that number? It was somewhere in that ballpark, wasn't it? Let me know in the chat there. I'm pretty sure. I just because I don't talk as much about that anymore. It's dropped out of my my memory banks, but it was something a lot large. So yeah, pretty interesting. So we might use the same strategy again. Brennan says you're thinking what I'm thinking. Super. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to it. So let's go to PulseChain price right now. So this is our chart. And we can see that we've actually defended the line here at 2,700 on more occasions than we want. This is the weekly chart, guys. We've defended 2,700 more times than we would like to have defended, right? I think we can all agree with that. Can I get a bit of a clap for that, or are you guys going to be, going to be difficult? It's going to be difficult. Yeah. Appreciate it. Much love. Rastafari. No, I'm just kidding. I should be saying that because I'm a Christian, so gotta be careful what I say. But we got quadruple 02924 is currently where we are right now. Quadruple 02924, and so we're above that 27. But we have been 1, 2, 3, 4 times we've kind of tested that with a week of reprieve. We're currently at the 29.24 mark, and we've still got this new support here in the chart. So Brennan, let me know what you think about this chart right now. Obviously the RSI is really low, guys, 42 on the weekly. And if we go to the daily right now, we can see that we're actually charting back up a little bit, right? We even got up to 32, 33 here, and we've actually got a higher low in place on the daily right now on yesterday. So man, if we can sort of grind our way out of this, and with MrProve, if it comes out in the next few hours or whenever it's coming out, I suspected it was supposed to be out already, but he did say they were going to try in this time frame. So we'll see. We're going to check all Richard's updates anyway. But we're currently at 44 on this daily as well. Let's see where we are on the 4 hourly. That's the trader's view, right? It's the 4 hour. Let's have a look here. Well, when I say trader's view, I don't know how sophisticated the traders are on PulseChain, but I'm sure there's a couple. Well, here we are. We're at 47 right now and 29. So let's have a look at these charts. So on the 4-hour, we've got a bit of zigzagging here going on with the moving averages. So yeah, we'll just see whether that gives us some clear direction. Not really showing anything at the moment, except for that we are below the 200 4-hour moving average. The daily there. Let's have a look at the daily. Daily there. Well, we get a little uptick in this pink line here, which is the 9 EMA for the daily, and that crosses up to the upside. Then we're looking good, guys, for a really move rally up to the upside here. So I think so. That looks pretty good. Brendan's a TA guru in the Discord, and he says if we break below that wedge, that wouldn't be good. No, I agree on that. Well, that wedge is it's a reframe wedge, right? Because already that lower support has already gone down, right? So we already went lower. But we've still got higher lows, and that's why that new wedge is still, I think, intact. But cheaper prices, yeah, that's true. Well, we don't really want to go there. I think we've already had enough of cheaper prices. We want to start getting some value appreciation. Now, part of it's to do with people in the chain. We've got a lot of DGNs there that just got conditioned to pump and dumps all over the place, speculating. The other thing, of course, we do have bots and lots of other things active. We do have large players from every now and then that are manipulating as well. So there is a lot of variables, not easily always controlled by the community, even if they were all not pushing the sell button, as Richard would say. You're the sell pressure. So even if they weren't doing that, we've still got other variables out there, as well as rotations, relativity plays into the majors, all sorts of things go on to fit the chart, I guess. But at the moment, we've still got this nice little upward structure, right? So we've still got this low that we had back here on the 30th of March. We rallied pretty violently all the way back up to here on the 24th of May. So how many days was that actually? Let's have a quick look at that. Let's do some TA stuff, guys. So that was 52 days. We did 170%, which is not bad. 52 days, 170% off the bottom, and the bottom was pretty miserable. I mean, we can all agree. Quadruple 1677 for Pulse, pretty miserable. And of course, we did go below that in the past. We've been into 5 zeros. I think temporarily. Now, the next high low we had, of course, was back here in June this year, and we got to quadruple 2200, and then we rallied out of that all the way into approximately 51 days. So both of them have been about 50 to 55, 50, 60 days, let's say, has been the rally. We're pretty interesting time zone for both of those. It's pretty kind of clear structure, and that was 154%, a pretty similar rally, right? Pretty similar rally there. It's 150, 170%, let's say, taking about 55, 60 days. Both of those two events, pretty interesting, clear structure there. And also out of this, we had the pink box, right? The pink box is the SEC, and we rallied out of that good news on the 7th of July there, finally defeating the SEC once and for all. Now, obviously, that created us a nice little channel, having two higher tops, two higher lows. Very cool. And we've managed to etch out a third higher low at the moment. It's definitely looking good for that. We've tested it a lot, though, and we've tested at 2700 a lot in here. So hopefully that is enough for us to, say, hey, look, we did it. We're in now. Now it's time for a nice little rally. The market's spoken, and they're not going down any further. That's the hope there. Now, the upside of the channel, whether that's the case there, well, maybe the top's too high, maybe 200% is too high, but maybe, on the back of Prove, if there is taking any Richard Art core coins into the sacrifice, maybe it's a bit more broad than just stable coins and ETH or something like that, that we might actually, get, this might be even too low, maybe 200%. But let's say we get something like what we had before, let's say around about let's just be a bit modest, 155%, that would take us to 6,800. And if we could do that in like 55 days or so, that would take us just the beginning of Christmas. You're around Christmas time. I don't know about early January because it's everyone's on holiday and it's such a sleepy time. Typically, we always see crap. Very rarely do we see anything much happening around that New Year's time. So just into Christmas there, maybe it's a little bit shorter. Let's say 53 days. That gets to 31 days. We get this to 31st to New Year's Eve party. 55 days. That's 170. I don't know if it's 170, but let's say 155%. So that might get us to 6,800. Quadruple 6,800 there. That'd be pretty nice. But if we have we've got MrProve out now. We're far away from the SEC thing now, 4 months, and let's see if we can get a nice little rally there. This doesn't assume any God mode candles. We might get a God mode candle, in December. after the 10th, from the Fed cut, if we do get a Fed cut, which is sitting at about 60% probability now, I think. So, we could get some real action in that second half of December there. And maybe like 2020, we got a God mode candle. Maybe that would be a gift in the hand as well with MrProve out, right? So MrProve does change the battlefield on PulseChain, whether you love it or like it or hate it or something, whatever. Then it doesn't really matter. But it's certainly probably going to be pretty bullish here at the right time. So let's see how we go. Now, if the market really hated it, they could just tank us right out of here, right? And say, oh, screw that, man. That's such a bad setup. So we'll see. The website's coming out. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what tokens are taken in, how much of the community really likes it or not. From Richard's point of view, maybe if there is an actual sacrifice and not an airdrops to sacrifices, then you've got Richard would probably prefer ETH and USDC, right? Because you can use that for fighting power, buying power as well. But of course, he's still got all the stuff in the from the previous sacrifices, so we'll see where that all heads. Now, my ultimate thing has always been, well, you actually want to ride up the ETH price, right? So obviously, with another sacrifice, you potentially just add that even more money into the old kitty there, and you ride that up, because we know that ETH is going to run away, and it's getting very close. And so we saw it on exchanges. We're down massively on exchanges with the amount of ETH there. It's must be down close to 4.5 million off from 20.2 million down now in the 15 million mark. So it's just a matter of time, guys, before we see a big push there. And of course, more of the strategic ETH reserves are really ramping up, as well as institutions and ETFs, right? So that's getting very close. So we're going to see a big parabolic runaway there. I still think that is easily the main scenario going forward as well. So we do have a few, like I said, mentioned earlier, we do have a few issues: the NVIDIA returns, the interest rate cuts, and of course the Supreme Court tariff assessment. So we still have those to work through, and that's why I'm sort of picking maybe we're getting into December now for all this move. And of course, we'll find out more with Richard Hart. So that's some of the thoughts I have on that. We've got Frank White says PulseChain has the brightest future. Absolutely. I don't think there's any scenario we don't have the brightest future. I understand some of the critiques from people, but I do think that it's going to be pretty amazing. Richard's really setting things up to be pretty amazing there. Now, you can hold the position where you think, he's a scammer and all the rest of the stuff, and it's just another repeat and all that. But I just really don't think that's the case. So and we could put a whole show into that. Be ready, says Frank White. Be ready indeed. Yeah, onwards and upwards. Now, Richard's also said, get rid of a lot of weekends, and then I'll you kind of show the glory. I'm kind of paraphrasing, and I think that's kind of where we are right now. So that's a nice channel we're in right now. Obviously, we want to break free from this resistance here in the triangle and or wedge, and then we've got quadruple zero 4,300, 4,400 to get through there at the moment. But we want a strong break, right? And a little God mode candle often can help with that. So we'll see how we get on here. Also, how long is the MrProve thing going to be open for, right? Is it going to be similar to what we saw with PulseChain, which was about 17, 18 days, and PulseX, which ran into 2020, 2022. I think it was the 28th of December 2020. 2021, sorry, and it ran through to I think February the 28th. 2022. Yeah, I think that's right. Is it going to be kind of like that? That was actually a much longer period. That's when some of the big, influencers blew up, right? There was so many people around for that. And that's when Crypto Coffee got picked up on the algorithms, and it's benefited them greatly there when he did a big video on that. So, it might be another opportunity for new rising stars to rally out as well. So that's Pulse. Let's move on into the markets. We've got 16.8 million in volume today. So, back down from our 22 million yesterday, and back down towards where we're used to being, somewhere between 12 and 16. We're at 16.8 at the moment. We've got 517,000 transactions. We've got a couple of ProveX tokens. People renaming things. ProveX there, ProveX, and just launching pump tires there. Now, one of these I think is from a well-known person. Another one I think is just launched from some random dude. But anyway, you can check those out, but be very careful out there. Zelda there from Tiger Crypto Dog. He burned 100,000 100 million tokens, which is 10% of the supply. and the charts really liked it, and he's doing a lot of great stuff there. He's a rising star, in terms of X content, isn't he? So the chart, though, it's down a little bit there. So even Burns, 10% Burns, may not lead you to the road to glory straight away, right? So that is Tiger Crypto Dog. Then we got we got Grimace right now. RH Post Super, I think the name has changed to previous, or we'll get there in a minute. Yeah, I hadn't actually seen anything on the name change, so we'll check that out. So let me get back to that, but I will follow that in a minute. So Grimace at the moment is up 24%. That was launched only 5 days ago. They actually sent some tokens to LibertySwap for Peacock. ICBM, 21 days. Obviously, that's been a really good performer with the ICBM team. I've always liked that. They're a great team and really clever scarcity tokenomics and a fun game. So ICBM doing well. They're up 5.4%. PulseChain Peahen there, also tied into the Peacock to some degree, up 4.7%. Vault from Fast Abdul, that's up 4%. And I don't believe the protocol's launching for a couple of months potentially. We'll keep up to date with that as much as we can. Pepe, which has been doing pretty well, is up 3.6%. This is the PRC20 fork, right? I believe. I don't think it's the pump tires one. We'll get to that. But that's the chart. Looking pretty good. I mean, it's at the bottom of the range, but it's still looking pretty good. So that might have a nice little run on there. RSI definitely getting into that sort of zone 40 on the RSI. And I think that is the... that is a pump tire. Sorry, my bad. That's pump tires. 9 months, that one. So yeah, we've got Phoenix at the moment as well. Been around for 9 months, up 2%. A Sparta with the old Hex Treasury up 1%. Source Mineral, which is apparently going to Solana at the end of the year. That's up just a little bit as well, 0.8%. Fetch up a little bit there. And of course, we're waiting for Signum Oracle. We're expecting that to launch after Tetra. And Tetra's launch date, I think, is coming up pretty soon. We're waiting for the website to update on that. And then we've got Ink Dollar also along with Fast Abdul, right? So that's a stable coin there. We've got MrProve with the picture that one. Those are kind of where we are right now. So everything else is down. So we're going to come back to all this in a minute. But let's go over to LibertySwap, because LibertySwap's the first thing we're going to look at. And we have obviously had a lot of updates from them. Now, it is the day. The day is the day. Let me scroll all the way up here, actually. The day is the day that we're expecting November the 8th, right? So we're expecting sometime today Rat Pulse routes to go live. This is really, really big deal, right? So Rat Pulse lives go live. This is going to be a significant expansion of the revenue capture for LibertySwap, right? So it enables instant movement of Pulse between Ethereum mainnet and PulseChain. You guys know that that's going to be huge in demand. That's going to be really in demand, right? People want to be able to go back and forth quite a lot easy there. So I think that's really, really huge. So max per transaction is 1 billion Pulse, no daily limit. All fees collected will be added to liquidity for Peacock. So they have been, instead of burning a lot lately, they've been, because they've already done 15.5% burn, they've been fattening up that liquidity non-stop. So that's been something that's been really interesting. They have a couple of options that they can do, right? They can, buy and burn. They can build up liquidity. They can build up their treasury, right? And they've got treasury that people can see, apparently. People can't see. And so, yeah, that's kind of what the things they're doing. And at the moment, I've noticed they've just been doing a lot of liquidity fattening up that liquidity real nice. And that's obviously has an impact as well on earning fees, so secondary fees. So pretty interesting there. Now, next week, of course, is November the 15th. So not today. So we're expecting that today, but 15th, we're expecting PDI, which I think is going to be really huge because the community is going to love that in the PDI community. And then, of course, especially after MrProve, because I don't think really proves up their position very well. But definitely LibertySwap is proving them up quite well. But the next big thing, of course, is Wrapped ETH PulseChain to Wrapped ETH mainnet, and that is a juggernaut, right? Well, you guys know that's a absolute juggernaut, guys. Wrapped ETH PulseChain to ETH mainnet. That's next Saturday or next Sunday. I think next Saturday, year's time. Two-way bridge launches, guys. So this thing is going to be absolutely mega. So excited about this. But today, Rat Pulse is the big move there, and I know people are going to like that. So let's go into LibertySwap, have a quick look at their stats. We'll see where it's kind of at the moment. Obviously, there's a correction overnight with Peacock. Now, obviously, we're expecting to go up and down as values proven up. So they had 592,000 dollars in volume, and I believe that's over 200 peers, trading peers. Now, obviously, there's the two big trading peers, right? But there's lots of pump tire groups now, combined with Peacock, and it's only getting bigger. And I've noticed a lot of new projects that are launching have been, sending LibertySwap some tokens to pair up with the old Peacock. So there is a lot of expansion there too. $8,800 in buy pressure in 24 hours. That's LibertySwap. So there's still a fraction of the market right now, but that's definitely, the bigger this will get, this is going to get expanded, of course, arguably with the pulse routes coming up today, and that's going to potentially expand that number. So we're going to keep an eye on that number. That number sometimes can be 22,000, just depends on volume and things like that going on. They're also very capital efficient, so they're earning some pretty high yields as well. So we're going to keep a lookout for that. But that is where they are at the moment. And so, yeah, it's where we are seeing them at the moment. So let me find them down here somewhere. The old LibertySwap. Where are they gone? Down here somewhere. So LibertySwap there, they're down almost 20% today. But let's have a look at the bigger pool, this one here. So they've been fattening up liquidity, and now they're going to have more firepower, right? So with this launch today, they're going to have more firepower to even add more liquidity, or buy and burn, or whatever they're going to be doing in the future. They're very capital efficient, so they're very clever so far. Let's go have a look at the setups here. Let me get rid of the RSI. Well, actually RSI is probably important at stage, but let's get rid of it for the moment. And let me go to the daily chart here. What happened? Actually, I might go back to the full thing because where's my overlays? My overlays disappeared. I had my overlays. Okay, I don't know, my overlays. Did you see my overlays disappear? Anyway, I was going to use it to tell my story. But this is kind of where we started off at, right? We started here back on the 21st. So I've got the ratio. No wonder that's why I got the pulse ratio at the moment. So let me just get rid of the pulse ratio, go to US dollar. And let's see if this works now. Yeah, that's better. That's what I wanted to do. All right, so we've been having these. I'm going to get rid of RSI as well. We're going to get rid of everything. Get rid of everything. Okay, we're sitting down at 0.2 of a penny back here around about the 28th of September. We sort of had a run up, and then we came back down, to 3600th of a penny. We had another run up here. There's a pretty big run up back here in the 14th of October. Got to 1.4 cents. So we broke that 1 cent mark and powered up. And then we came back to 8200 of a penny. We slowly grinding here all the way up, and ended up getting up to 2.8 cents, something like that. But on the intraday, it was just over 3 cents on some of the trades, one of the top trades. So let's say 2.8, 2.9 cents. And then we've just come back down now to around about 16.50 right now, so 1.6 cents. So we kind of have this grind up, right? All the meanwhile, you've got this buy pressure, which is varying, right? So sometimes it can be 22,000 or something. Today it's 8,800 right now, and so that moves around. We are coming off the weekend, right? So the weekend's always lower, typically lower there. So yeah, well, that's kind of where we are. So we expect that just to slowly grind up, because they have a business, right? They have a business. They have the bridge and all the swappings and stuff like that. So, and now they're about to expand it. So just wanted to give a bit of a breakdown of where that's going. Now, most coins don't have any business. There's no buy power. There's no liquidity fattening, nothing. There's zero zilch. And the vast majority on PulseChain don't have it. Now, there are a few, and they're the ones that typically get priced up the best over time. And then there's ones that are, pretty, few of them are manipulated. And things like that. But at the moment, this is slowly grinding up. And that's why these guys talk about, $10, $1 and things like that, which is a slow grind up there. But they're going to expand this pretty stepwise with this bigger launch here. So we're looking forward to that. Now let's go down and see what they've been talking about today on this before we get to Richard Hart and MrProve coming up next. So let me just see. I think we had a good night from there yesterday. But that's where we're going to start. So 8 hours ago, we had I'm Proud Peacock Millionaire. How about you? Overnight fees are sweet. Keep stacking those Peacock LPs. Believe in the bird. So more fattening up of the LPs going on there. Doesn't mean that the price doesn't, go for a bit of a retrace, but the actual LPs getting fattened up with all the capital flowing in there. We respect you. Get out there. Now, let's scroll up a little bit more here. So we're still waiting for their announcement around the PLS peers. So we're still waiting for that news there. And 4 hours ago, they kind of had an update here. We can concentrate liquidity in V2LP to capture more trading fees while Peacock, while minimizing impairment loss. It's great for the bird in the long run while still contributing to PulseX and PulseBurn. And of course, here they got here. The way I see this relationship, Peacock is more than just a token. It's our way to protect the long-term sustainability of our business, strengthen the PulseChain community, and share the success of everything we build, which is pretty amazing. We're building products that bring real-world utility to PulseChain for now, but our success depends on community support and trading activity. Without that, our products can't survive, which is normal, for this trading business, and trading fees won't grow. At the same time, if we only take profits without giving back, community will eventually weaken, and pressure from sell-offs could build up as we accumulate Pulse and other core assets. Remember, they're also accumulating, treasuries as well. They're doing all this, LP fattening, etc. That's why we reinvest our trading fees and other earnings into bidding Peacock. The traders who use our products in turn buy and hold Peacock, owning most of the supply. Our role is to keep building softwares and adding value to both Peacock and PulseChain as a whole. Community's role is to keep supporting, holding, and trading Peacock, because when it grows, everyone benefits. We eat well as builders. The community eats well as supporters and traders. We can both survive and thrive through the bear and bull markets for that reason. So that was a nice little post from them about that. So let's just jump out of there. So that's the kind of a cool thing. Now, obviously, 3 hours ago, they said here the first challenge for MrProve is that it relies on trading activity to generate buybacks and token burns. To drive trading volume, users need a simple, intuitive way to set up and manage their accounts. However, zkProve currently works best on desktop environments and isn't fully supported on mobile devices, yet only about 11% of PulseChain users trade using a computer. There's still plenty of work to do on the UI UX side. UI meaning user interface, user UX meaning user experience, and that's kind of where we are right there. So they got a few more comments there. He created the protocol. We can build on top of it. It's talking about MrProve. So some pretty interesting comments there from them around being able to leverage that. Now, obviously, you're still going to need people to use the MrProve, right, to accelerate that. Apart from anything Richard might do in terms of fundamentals on the chain. So kind of cool. Now, interesting comment here from Fetch Oracle. Fetch Oracle says Fetch Oracle brings truth to the PulseChain. MrProve turns that truth into action. Fetch verifies the real Pulse price. MrProve settles the transaction automatically. Now, you don't need an Oracle for everything because obviously if you've got a peer-to-peer, just depends on what sort of transaction you're doing, whether you need an Oracle price call or not. So that is some of the cool stuff there. So we're still waiting, like I say, for the big announcement around Pulse routes going live. And as far as I know, we don't see that on the liquidity provision yet, which is over here. We don't see the Pulse there. It was popped up the other day. Remember, we did see it pop up, and they took it away. And it must be a little test there and all along here, right? So we don't see it there, Pulse. So we're waiting for that to pop up there, guys. So we've got stables at the moment. We've got a precursor for the ETH side, and then we got the Peacock, which was their last big update, and that was huge. The Peacock there, so kind of cool. All right. And that's kind of it for that. So we're going to come back to that later on. Currently, that's where we are with the old Peacock. So let's get into Richard Hart next. Before we do that, let's see if we've got any comments on the chat. And we're going to go into Richard Hart. I see. So, okay, let's scroll back down there. All right. I will definitely check the post there. Don't forget, if you are watching, don't forget to share the show around. Where's the link up there? It's up here. So don't forget to share the show. That'd be really great. All right. Let's get into Richard Hart's updates. All right. We'll go further than there. All right. So let's get into that. So, bam. All right. So Richard Hart did put out this post here 2 hours ago. Which name pumps harder, MrProve or Pulse? Prove X. And I don't know. I've heard some pretty bad names for the ProveX one. It kind of makes sense, but it's also kind of got some other aspects to it. We're a family show. Which name pumps harder, MrProve or ProveX? And let's see. I don't know. I'm gonna have to hit one of them right to see. Crypto Coffee says MrProve. Everyone is going to confuse ProveX with PulseX. Yeah, that's probably true. There's lots of. I think it's nice and short and sweet, the old ProveX, but it is a little bit troublesome. I I also like the Prove IT option that some people talked about. Prove X is clearly the better name, says Eric. The previous one was slowly growing on me, but this one hits perfectly from the very movement. Yeah, so I guess the counter argument would be that PulseX, and then you'd have ProveX. It kind of is a brand family, right? It kind of does make sense. But ProveX does have some other names that people talk about. ProveX for sure, says the Amish kid. DJ Cryptomatic. Not so sure about the X thing because X money, but so we've got some people on either side. Priscilla Gates says ProveX is the one. Brazology, my vote would be for Pulse Accelerator. Yeah, kind of like that's a little long though, but I kind of know where he's heading there with that. Definitively ProveX, says Max, Mr. ProveX. Oh, we're getting a lot of ProveX there. ProveX. We've got to have top hat X, isn't it? That was pretty crap, but we've got some different tickers there. All right, so we've got some different expectations there. I'm going to have to hit one of these because I want to see what the poll results are. I don't know. Let's Mr. ProveX. Mr. ProveX. Yeah, I think over time, maybe the ProveX might be a bit more fanciful. There we go, 75%. So 3/4. That's out of 4,279 votes. It's a pretty good poll. 3 hours left on that. So it looks like ProveX might be the name changer there. And therefore, yeah, that could be the case there, Brendan. Nice observation. All right. So that is the poll. We'll see what happens with the actual name. And of course, we saw people trading some already versions of that on X. Now, there were some prizes to give away, right? So let's go have a look at some of the prizes that were given away. $10,000, $5,000, and $2,500. We've got a few more comments in here as well. Some education here. There ain't no mixer too. The seller knows the address of the buyer because he sends coins there and he knows the amount. The buyer knows the bank account of the seller. There is no bridging. There is no bridge. The buyer's bank account and the seller's wallet. Basically, no part. Your answer is correct. There is no. Someone's asked him a question there, I guess. Guy said wallet mixer. The only private in the private prover is the fact that you can prove things without showing the things. So probably just about who's actually right. So, okay, guys, who got second and third place? First place is in the screenshot UTC, which is P. Tiago. Actually, we know P. Tiago. Mechanism to remove the trust factor between parties and transactions with crypto. Examples of what would be an escrow service or smart contract that locks funds as collateral, crypto check, and others. So it looks like they got the first prize, which was 15K, was it? 10K, 10,000. So that's the first one. Second prize is the Amish kid. This one gets second, casual proof of history or zero knowledge proof of delivery. So you got Amish kid there, got 5,000. So congratulations to him. And then third place looks like Hemp Hex, decentralized ODC or over-the-counter market. And there's the third prize. So there we go. Those are the winners. Congratulations, all of them. In fact, I'm familiar with, I think, all three names. So there we go. Look enough around on X, and I guess you do get familiar. Prove Mr. T. Yeah, prove that. That's true, Blair. All right, so that's kind of where we are at. Will it have RWA capabilities? And by capability, it means that it can be done, not that it's already done or exactly will be done, such as the magic power of new tech. What's the point then if anyone can just publish your address? What's the point of having proof of someone paid instead of a screenshot? What else we got there? So that looks like some of the updates there from Richard. So we still don't actually have the website out yet. So we're still waiting for both LibertySwap and from Richard Hart around the website coming up there. I'm sure people have been scouting the internet trying to find the URL, but it could be a .com, an .io or something. That's kind of where we are right now. So no news quite yet. Now, the other big thing, of course, we've got coming up is we've got those two launches waiting for. We're also waiting for CoinWell to launch, right? So this wasn't, we got hints that it could be early November from Triple Dad, who's going to be kind of like the CEO. I guess I call him junior founder, but I don't know if that's exactly right. Let's call him a co-founder at the moment. But we've got Rack and Rochelle obviously leading the pack there, and CoinWell coming. So it looks like maybe mid-November, we'll see. I guess market sentiment will be important. So I reckon we'll be very attentive to that, no doubt. But CoinWell is coming. It is going to be multi-chain as well. And we're very excited about it. I do hope, look forward to let's say, any institutional investing. The other part, of course, any link into Donald Trump Jr. and the White House, and potentially even the United States digital strategy. That'd be pretty cool if Ray can get himself embedded in there. And then, of course, also potential NASDAQ listing as well. So there's some cool potential realities there. Some of them have been mentioned by Rackham before, and we'll see whether any of those happen. And, of course, fun times. The other big thing, of course, is we also saw from Rackham, we saw the teaser for the, I don't know if it's a replacement, but a teaser for the Battle of the Memes or Coinarchy, but we've got this site called Coin Mafia. So I'm not sure whether that's just a name change from Coinarchy to Coin Mafia, but we're probably going to have Mr. Wu on there, Mr. Wu, who's well-known influence in the community as well as comedian. Mr. Wu looks like he's going to be moving into platform, I don't know, leadership, founder, something like that. And he's got some little tickets in here for that. So I think the site looks really good. So waiting for that. No, I do want to, we'll enjoy covering the Battle of the Memes if it's set up right. That would be really cool. So we'll keep an eye out for that. So that's some cool stuff there happening at the moment for the old PulseChain. So no launches quite yet, but possibly within hours, maybe after the live stream. And if it does launch, I will try and obviously do a special live stream for that. Just jump on and see whether we can go over there. But at the moment, that's kind of what we're waiting for today. Hello, we've got Sandy Beach in the house there. Hello, Sandy Beach. Hello, everybody. Big shout out to Sandy Beach. And we've got a great crowd in today. And we've got Brian in today. We've got Brennan in today. We've got Blair in today. We've got Sandy Beach in today. DJ and Hexkin in today with the 5555. Looking good there. Frank White as well. Big shout out. We've got a great bunch of people. Sean O'Malley. It's really cool. And of course, at the beginning, we had Eddie, and it was pretty cool. And of course, Blair already mentioned. So great to see people in the chat there. As always, a big hi from Brian there, Sandy. How about that? That's pretty nice. All right. So that is some of the cool stuff. Now, X1 is coming. And when I say it's coming, it's already launched, but the ecosystem is about to come. Let's say it, put it that way. So this just came out earlier today from Jack Levin, the vampire, because I know some of you guys would call him vampire, the vampire slayer. Not slayer, but anyway. We got after X1 mainnet launch, I figured having better diversified Oracle feed than Plith is probably a good idea. X1 Oracle system was born. And next, it was time to test the Oracle. The natural choice was prediction markets. Vero markets were born. Now, we know prediction markets are really kind of blowing up. People are really into them, particularly around portfolio management and, getting different chat AIs like ChatGPT to run your portfolio. Now, typically what we see in the previous, when we first had the first rounds of, portfolio automation in terms of making money, that often bots can be quite good on the way up in price, but they're terrible on the way down. That's when they all fall apart and you lose a lot of money. So it's an interesting area. But anyway, there's lots of different algorithms that can be run on that. Vero markets needed a better wallet integration, so Backpack was forked. I'm pretty excited that they did fork Backpack. It wasn't clear whether Backpack would be supporting X1 straight out of the gate. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't, but just the timing, they want to get it up and running. So this is very, very exciting to see Backpack now forked. Validators were asking for more XNT to stake. So X1 Solana bridge was developed where people could, purchase XNT, which is a fee coin for X1, by depositing USDC from Solana. And that's how they were doing that, and also participating in the bonus validator yield, which I think was it 24% or 14%, somewhere in that ballpark. It was certainly a big jump up there for early validators. 30 days into mainnet, says Jack. 1 million lines of code later, all systems a go. So we're getting very close. Now, this doesn't include some of the other things that are already being worked on by XDEX and Jason at XDEX. So Jason's the developer at XDEX, and also DGen. They work on Solana, and they'll be working on X1. So it's people are kind of talking about X1 being Solana 2.0. So the potential re-rate, the potential opportunity there is absolutely massive. If you guys want to find out more details, definitely jump into our strategy club. The link's in the video description on YouTube. Also pinned to the top of X if you guys want to join up. Only $35 a month to grab into that. So encourage you there. Now, it's not an investing group. It is a strategy club. So it's Intel. and a lot of things like that. We have discussions and things like that. So that's kind of the difference there. We've got 30 days into mainnet, 1 million lines of code. Isn't that exciting? Pretty awesome. So I'm excited about it because, we're all looking for opportunities. And the other thing is it's important to have diversification, not only diversification in your portfolio, but diversification across chain as well. So I think that's important, some important lessons there. Now, when I say diversification, I don't mean just, willy-nilly indexing, which can be fine for people that, want to do that. But actually in crypto, it's not the same as the stock market. You're probably better off indexing on the stock market unless you're a real specialist and knew what you're looking for. Or you would just, in crypto, it's different because we have much bigger yields, potential X opportunities that you don't get in the stock market that easily. And so, normally you'd be looking, even with diversification, still looking for what I call the unicorn strategy, right? You're looking for those ones that are got the chance for a big upside. And of course, we've been covering one of those today, which I believe is LibertySwap, because they are building out a huge business model. Now, that model still has risks to it, but it is actually something pretty relatively unique on PulseChain that a lot of other projects don't have. We see other projects that do have things like that, like Vouch, of course, which is the number one validator, things like that have big whale money coming in constantly, whereas a lot of projects don't have any of that, right? They're just based on the leader or a community actively, spreading the word. So you've only got those sort of mechanisms to drive it, as opposed to a big constant buyer, which is systemic. And those are the differences, right? So those will probably be separated out over time, and people will start to, get a better idea there. So very important. And we've only got a few of those. And my whole point was by Christmas time, I was hoping that we'd have at least half a dozen blue chips on PulseChain that are investable, right? That are real investments, as opposed to people, pump and dump degens. But in saying that, still have massive upside. They still have potentially for massive upside, and typically those will be the best anyway if they've got a constant, whale buying. And whether that's from some sort of business operating, that has to be fairly significant business in terms of LibertySwap, of course, adding in more of these pairs, going from stable coins to ETH to Pulse, and PDI and whatever else they're going to add in there, as well as extending onto multiple chains, right? Going up to 30 chains, So I think at the moment they're like on 6-7 chains maybe, but actually expanding that whole business to 30 chains. So that's how the expansion happens, as well as many other clever little moves that are doing, like capital management efficiencies and things like that. So we're excited about where all that's potentially heading. Jack Levin, of course, is moving the frontier also on Solana. And of course, Solana is one of the most valuable chains in the world. And they're looking to vampire that. So it's Jack the Vampire. There we go. It's continuing on. But, on a more serious side, they're building out some pretty incredible tech and improving some existing tech, all that sort of stuff. So it's really exciting to see that. And once XTX goes live, this whole thing will be humming, right? The whole of that X1 will be humming. And it's going to be fun to see it play out. All right. So that's kind of where we are there. How we're doing? An hour and 2 minutes on the live. Okay. So I think we're pretty much up to that. I think that's the latest stuff. We'll do one more check of Richard Hart before we go, and just to make sure that he hasn't, announced anything. But that is getting pretty close, guys. What do we have there? 30 minutes ago. So we've got some new updates here. They're looking pretty good. I wonder if a stamp has any role. Historically, they've been very proofy. And then what else has he got here? 10,000x ProveX logo contest. So he's got the new name now, ProveX now, right? So it's got a new contest now, so you guys can participate. That just came out. It must work in a really small scale. I like high contrast gradients and hexagons. I like the gradient angle to be up to and to the right. Contest ends in 6 hours. Contest operated by and paid for by an anonymous donor there. Graphic design is my passion. So there we go. That is from Richard Hart. So that's a new competition you guys can get into straight away. So go check out Richard Hart there. And we've already got some entries there into the mix. Go check them out. All right. So that is hot off the press. And so presumably that means that if it's 6 hours, then we may not get the ProveX website up in at least 6 hours, right? That's probably logic there. We'll see, but you can always put it in afterwards, I guess. But normally you're going to launch with the profile, so we might be waiting just a little bit longer for ProveX now to launch. But ProveX does seem to be the new name there for the Richard Hart. So that's still maybe 6 hours. So we might be have another stream later today. You just never know. LibertySwap, of course, is we're still waiting for the PLS there as well. So I might repost that one. We're still waiting for the news around the rat pulse expansion there for LibertySwap. All right, I think that's it. That's what we can talk about today, and we'll see what happens later on. We got Sandy Beaches and an anonymous donor. Yeah, everyone laughs at that. That's for sure. What else there? Most Army says big days for Unity coming. Yeah, it's definitely coming up there. I hope that we got day 89, phase 3 coming up. So excited about that. Unity for cryptographics. Hetrog says it wasn't me. You're not the anonymous donor. I think it was all of us. Says Sandy Beach. Hopefully I'm keeping up with you guys. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Hit the follow button on X and share the show around. Really does help a lot. Of course, if you love your PulseChain daily content, it is a lot of fun, and we're definitely in some very exciting times. I think later today we could have some pretty awesome news around LibertySwap and around Prove X now. It's called Prove X. It does go in the brand family with PulseX, so no surprises there. All right, take care, everybody, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.